All right, sorry about that. My phone ran out of memory twice in a row, so I'm going to pick up hopefully where I left off. So what we're doing is we're taking a look at some populations and creating samples or subsets of those populations. So if we have families with children, we could narrow this down to families with one child. And we could just ask those families with just one child. So we have seniors at East High School. If we wanted to take a sample, we could sample just the girls, or the female, let's say the female seniors at East High School. And those are just some examples. We could have done the males. We could have done athletes. We could have done, the seniors who are in the honors classes. There are lots of samples or subsets of those populations. Okay, now let's take a look at this situation and see, because we're gonna take a survey and we're gonna see if these are biased or not. So it says, read the situation below, then determine if the various methods would produce a random sample. So we want to know, is this a random sample? Therefore, is it unbiased? That's what we want to know. Is it unbiased? So the senior class president would like to host an after-graduation lock-in. There will be games, gifts, and food. That sounds awesome. In order to decide if people would be willing to buy tickets and attend, she has decided to conduct a survey, because that would stink if you create this awesome event or what you think is awesome and nobody actually wants to go to it. So you want to get a feel first to see if people, A, actually show up, and B, what do they want to do, because you're trying to meet their needs. You're trying to make this awesome for them. Says she will select 25 students to meet and give input into the prizes, food, and ticket price. There are 500 members of the senior class. So that is our population. So 500 is our population, and the 25 students that we're going to select will be our sample. So let's see. The first scenario, she selects every 10th student as they get off the bus one morning. That is definitely a random sample, because that is systematic. And that is unbiased. So that's good. I really like those types of samples. She asks her choir director to allow her to survey the choir. This is going to be biased. And that's not random. Now, why is this biased? Well, because if you're surveying only the kids in the choir, those kids are probably going to have a lot of similarities and interests. And so the stuff that the choir wants to do isn't necessarily the stuff that, let's say, kids in the band would want to do, or what athletes would want to do, or what kids who don't participate in any clubs would want to do. So you're not getting a good representation if you're only surveying the choir. She makes an announcement that people interested could meet in the library after school. So this is voluntary, which is going to be a bit biased. And it's going to be biased because these are people who obviously care. Now, in this scenario, I think this would be good because, you want the people to want to participate in this survey. But nonetheless, it does yield a more biased sample because it's not random. Not random. That's what we call voluntary. She meets with the counselor who selects every 20th student on the school roster. That's systematic again. And that is unbiased. We like those. It is random, which is good. She assigns each senior a number and randomly selects 25. That's good. That's like a random number generator. That is definitely random. That's a simple random, so that's unbiased. And then a roster of the senior class is printed and each student name is put into a hat. The principal selects 25. Again, that is definitely a random sample because I'm assuming he or she is closing their eyes and picking 25 names. They don't know what the names will be. They're just picking 25 of them at random. So that is also unbiased. That would be a good representation of those 25 students. You're probably going to get maybe some athletes, some in the choir, some in the band, some who don't do any sports, some who take art, who are into photography. So I think that would give you a good sample. So hopefully this made some sense. We will address it when I get back to school tomorrow. But yeah, these are some really important terms and ways that we can collect information. And we will be doing a project in which you are required to create a survey of your own. And these are going to be some of your options of creating your survey.